Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Namaste. Welcome all. Hope you all had a wonderful Makara Sankranti festival this week. In whatever form you celebrated, it's wonderful. Shri Mahodaya is here. We have a smaller than usual class. So I think, of course, I'll leave it to Srini Mahodaya, but I think there will be some refresher type discussion and a review of some material. And then we'll slowly move on to some real world examples of how to apply the Shastras and Nyaya and things like that. So take it away, Mahodaya.
Yeah. Okay, just a second. All right. Sharing the screen, entire screen. Okay. Should be right. I'm trying to share it. All right. So I guess we did go through some of the lessons in the chapters regarding Rita, Satyam, and Dharma. So we learned that reality has a balanced structure. Whether we want it or not, whether we think or not, whether we have an opinion or not, whether we have our eyes closed or opened, rhythm exists independent of our minds and opinions, right? So Satyam is all about seeing or recognizing that there is a structure in reality, there is a rhythm in reality, there is a pattern in reality. And once we recognize that, either in verbal form or simple imagery, or just conceptualizing it, we call that Satya. It doesn't have to be in the form of speech, but even prior to speech, what occurs in our minds, in the mind faculty, that is Satyam. And Dharma is being in alignment with Satya. Satya is in alignment, Rhythm. Dharma is in alignment with Satyam. If it is not, then it is called Adharma. If Satya is not following the rhythm, it is called Asatyam. If rhythm is not discovered, right, then it is unrhythm or discovered wrongly. The false discovery of the rhythm is unrhythm. And let's go and see if these concepts and how are they recognized in all our 6 darshanas. So the very first darshana that we were talking about, which is Nyaya, here the rhythm is considered ordered reality, and Satyam is the correct cognition or the conceptualization, and Dharma is the action that follows. Vaisheshika is the one who actually saw a lot more uh, order or discovered more order when it comes to the structural order or the rhythm, and they did the accurate classification and the action per nature of every padartha, right? So they did the padartha classification, and then the nature, we have to understand the nature of things, and then Dharma follows it. And the very nature of the classified things, classification based on nature, right? Lakshanas. And the Lakshana is nothing but the Rutam in a different form. So there is action per nature. Sankhya talked about the systemic evolution or the psychological existence. So they're not outside, but more on the Purusha and the Prakriti and how they interact and what actually happens psychologically. So that what is happening in our inner mind, like in inner experience, which they described it, and that became Sankhya. And the Satya is all about using the discriminating faculty, the Viveka, the Buddhi. So then, only then you can align Satya to rhythm. And Dharma is the action that follows, which is not confused one for the other or the errors. And yoga is the moral psychic order. It recognized the rhythm in the form of yama niyama, asana, pranayama. All these things are very much required because they focus on they follow Sankhya. So whatever the Sankhya said regarding the psychological existence, it follows that. So truthfulness and also disciplined living. So life itself is dharma. How you life, from it can be morning chores, it can be monthly chores, whatever it is, but the very life, because it is an action, manifested action, is life of consciousness. So that is yoga. And Mimamsa, they talked about all the rituals of the Vedas are nothing but rhythm in the or in the forms of implementation. So they're all embedded. The rhythm is embedded in the rituals. So fidelity to injunction of the Vedas is super important. And action sustains world. The action of the rituals, that is dharma. And yagadireva dharma. Ritual is the dharma for them, Mimamsa. Vedanta and is okay. The rhythm is actually coming from Brahman, and Brahma is the only Satya, and all of what we do has to be aligned with it. So that is the Vedantic viewpoint. But you do see none of them actually, there's no denial of rhythm. So, and they may slightly differ on how they interpret it, very, very slightly, but the most common thing is rhythm, satya, and dharma. And these darshanas do not permit denial of reality's order. It is called anritam or anrita. Truth as a mere convention. No, they will never say that because it has to follow the rhythm. And ethics can be detached from reality. Or it is just socially constructed. Consent is enough. Nothing else matters, right? So that would still be a dharma because it doesn't follow rhythm. So these positions, those some of the things that we're going to discuss, will you do see that you'll have to identify when the anritam happened, when the asatya happened, when adharma happened, and where is the error, right? So we'll recap this example. Um, there's a driver, and he recognized that his rhythm is when cars can be in unidirectional or bidirectional. When the cars are in the same space at the same time in the opposite direction, collision happens. So that is rhythm. That is the order of reality, structured. And even if he doesn't think and drive, if he does not obey the rhythm, it still occurs in conflict. Satyam is about recognizing it. Like if I follow rhythm You know, if I don't do anything and cars come in the same way in the opposite direction, collision happens. Right? And I should not cause collision. So that is Satya. Right? And because it does follow rhythm. Dharma is about, oh, if I follow the rule, and if I follow the rule, I will be fine. If others also follow the rule, everybody will be fine on the street. So putting that into action in the form of traffic signals and following it is considered dharma. So in it is conduct as well as ethical conduct in alignment with the recognized facts of reality. So that is action. And that is dharma. Now let's go. Similarly, let me open the floor for a discussion on look at this picture, make up a story on the rhythm, satya, and the dharma. Yeah, jump in. Anyone? On the left hand side, you see water, just strong current. It's all nature. So, what is the rhythm here?
To cross the to reach the other end, you need to either have some kind of a barrier. So that's the rita.
Hmm.
Satya is either you can swim and go, or you build something. That is satya.
Hmm.
Uh, Dharma is like, if you construct a bridge,
Hmm.
you can go, and others also can lead.
Okay. And on the left hand side, you see there is a signboard,
Strong current.
strong current. Okay, strong current. Is that rhythm?
Mm, it just a warning saying that, like, if you are crossing, like, you may end up in.
Ah, yes, correct, correct. And the only the fact of reality. So just look at reality, irrespective of whether there is a sign or not, right? And if there is a flow of water, going against the flow of water is hard. And if I simply follow the flow of water without making any effort, because without making any effort of being safe, I can end up losing my life. That happens to any person, animal, whoever, right? It is strong current is dangerous for life. So that is a rhythm statement.
Yeah,
Right?
maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyone else wants to? I mean, you can see the thing is, rhythm has to be recognized. It doesn't have to be in the same words. You just have to recognize that fact of reality, right? And what is the satyam? And can you make a statement on following that rhythm? Anyone else?
Yeah, I mean, the Satya is the fact, the rhythm is to recognize that the forces of nature are acting. The Satya is to see
Ah,
that,
wonderful. Forces of nature, right? Yeah,
so it's not good or bad. It is to recognize that this is the force, right?
yeah,
And it's
absolutely.
that's how it is functioning. There's nothing, um, there's no opinion. It's just
Right.
an objective
Yeah.
understanding.
Yes. Yeah. Beautifully said. It's the
And
forces of nature. Yes.
and then the Satyam is when it connects to our reality that if I enter it, what is inevitable is I will be caught in that current. I'll be swept away. I could die. I could drown,
Uh,
or whatever that has to happen. The outcome is
uh,
going to be struggle, and
correct.
you will have
So
to either
all
be
the
a strong
statements you
swimmer.
see, they all become truthful because they're in alignment with the first recognized reality. Correct?
Yeah. Mhm. Yes.
And
So
mm,
so then I think the interesting part is once you see that oh, this is not good or bad or whatever, it is what it is. And if I have an objective, so in this they show the ashram or the temple or the location across. So if that is my laksha or my destination, or something that is needing to be going towards, and I have to cross it, then what is the truth is that I'm going to be caught in a struggle if I'm going to jump in that water trying to get to that place.
Okay, that is a truthful statement. Okay, I agree. You see, there are 4 people standing in the river bank, 4 of them, and let's say each one of them has a viewpoint. One may reject rhythm, the other may reject Satyam, the other may reject Dharma. Right? Let's say a first person and defy rhythm, saying make a statement on it should become unrhythm. Can you make that thing? And let's see what.
It would mean, if your heart is true, and if you are just, time it right, you can just cross the river. Don't worry about the current. It doesn't matter.
Okay, so make a okay. I got what you're saying. Can you make a rhythm statement like irrespective of people saying anything? Just you use
The current is strong and it will carry anything that it's in its path down the river. Right.
Okay.
And that is lying in
safely.
between.
Okay.
And to get to the other side, if you want to, this river must be crossed. So the current is strong, and anyone who entering the current will be swept off. Given,
I'll make only one statement. Let's see if you can make that thing. I'm trying not to get into Satya now. Only on rhythm. So let's say another example, right? Gravity pulls. Is rhythm, right? Gravity pulls. Gravity does not pull. Is it unrhythm?
Yeah. That would be
that's how I want it. Okay, so that way you don't get into the other category. So rhythm, so the river does not have strong current.
Yes, that will be unrhythm.
Unrhythm. So, and then Satyam. Now let's say I deny rhythm. This person denied rhythm. And then what happens to the kid who was at the shore? Who was at the river bank, and then he heard one person rejecting the rhythm. And then what does the kid do? Let's say he is being raised by him. This, yeah. Or his school
The
teacher.
kid is raised by me. Yeah, but he knows of rhythm, but he sees this person denying rhythm.
Denying it. I mean, okay. Let's say he's a kid. He's like a 4-year-old. And then what happens? He heard the unrhythm.
He's going to feel like it was inevitable what is happening, right? That he entered the river.
He did not yet. He hasn't yet entered the. What is his thought? You haven't. You are the kid. Let's say.
Yeah.
You heard the unrhythm from an elderly person who was raising you.
If then you're misguided, then you would feel like I can cross the.
Okay. See, you're misguided. Just one statement is enough. One statement is enough. You're just misguided. And then what does the misguided kid do? He's courageous, right?
Yeah.
Just jumps into the river. So asatyam leads into jumping into the river. And then what happens?
There's pain and struggle and strife.
Yeah. Right. The action of jumping into the water is a dharma, and the action of saying the untruth is a dharma. Correct? And let's say everybody, the other people, all of them, they all say, "Oh, there is no strong current. Just it's one-off case. There's no strong current. He just jumped in and then drowned. Well, there's no strong current. Anyone can I mean, this is what they have been talking, right? That can happen in a group think. Let's say they all
Yeah.
voted. Like, they did the peer reviews and voted. They discussed among themselves.
This is a big problem in life, actually. It's a very recurring problem in life.
Yeah. Well, so asatya is everywhere. It's so popular. And then the bridge is not going to be constructed. You agree? No bridge. Bridge is not
Yeah,
going to
we'll
happen.
keep we'll keep
It's
trying.
safe, right?
We'll keep trying.
We just keep discussing and we are not going to bridge. So dharma never occurs. When asatya is everywhere, there's no dharma. Okay. All right. And this is all commonly recognized. Maybe in all six darshanas. Okay. Now, the interesting part. Very recently, it's being discussed on the internet. It's everywhere actually. So there is a chapter called gender module, right? Sex and gender module being introduced to teachers at NCERT India, and you know where it is coming from the US, right? And look at this thing. The chapter says it has an overview, introduction, objectives, what are stereotypes, common gender stereotypes, gender relations and roles, references. There's overview, there's introduction, and on the left hand side, there is sex, then on the right hand side, there is gender. So the attempt is, the sex is biological, the gender is social. Okay. Now, what do you think about the structure of this material? Is it nice? Nice looking page? A textbook, just one of the pages. First page of for teachers. What do you
It
think?
looks good.
Looks good. Purple, nice colored, everything is fine. Nicely printed. And you see it has a logical structure. Beautiful, right? It's got nice printing and the whole structure looks nice. And the presentation can be awesome too. For example, they're going to say, in this module, we'll reflect upon the differences between the concepts of sex and gender. We will also examine the ways in which gender roles and stereotypes are socially constructed and the role that education can play in bringing about a change. Introduction says sex refers to the biological difference between men and women. See, they're trying to make a rhythm statement, while gender refers to the socially constructed differences between them. Do you notice any issue until now?
Yeah, it is. It
Until now,
is
maybe
kind of
it's
imposing.
going
It is, no, it is observing rhythm, but imposing a satya right on top of it.
Correct.
To me, that's the way I see it.
Yeah, you're seeing it. No, that's fine. That's fine. And then say these are socially constructed differences. These socially constructed differences can change over time and are also likely to vary within a given society and from one culture to the other. Our gender identity determines how we are perceived and how we are expected to behave as men and women. These main differences between the main differences between the two terms are presented in the box below. On the left hand box, they say sex is natural, right? And on the right hand, gender is a socio-cultural construct. Okay. And on the left hand side, they say sex is biological and it refers to visible differences in genitalia and related differences in procreative functions. Gender says it refers to the masculine and feminine qualities, behavior, roles, and responsibilities that society upholds. Sex is constant, it remains the same everywhere. It's biological. Gender is variable, it changes from time to time, culture to culture, day to day, even family to family. And sex cannot be changed without complex medical intervention. Gender can be changed or reoriented because it is social construct. It's just words, right? People, consenting groups have come in and then they talked about it and they have identified. Okay. Look at this. So until now, you grasp the content of the chapter. So what are they saying? Sex is biological, gender is social. And it's just a social construct. Have you agreed at this point? Anyone agreed or everybody disagreed? Or it just not making
because it's against nature.
yeah, let's not make a moral statement on that. Agree or disagree?
Understand what he's trying to say.
Oh, okay. All right.
Disagree.
Okay, I see. How many disagreed? About, I see at least, yeah, about 10, right? So how many disagree? Okay. Looks like 1, 2, 3, yeah. 4 disagreements. Okay. 5 disagreements. Ashwin Jawar agrees or disagrees? Ashwin Jawarji, huh?
Yeah, disagree.
Oh, disagree. So overwhelming disagreement. Okay, all right, yeah. But this is what. All right, everybody is disagreeing. Okay, but do you know this is being taught to the teachers, and they are teaching our children everywhere. But look what happens, and then people can agree, disagree, but it's already in place. And let's see what happens. And I'm going to show a video. I don't know if it plays. Let's see. Tell me. Can you hear this?
I understood your answer to Senator Moody a moment ago. Do you think that men can get pregnant?
I hesitated there because I wasn't sure where the conversation was going or what the goal was. I mean, I do take care of patients with different identities. I take care of many women. I take care of people with different identities. And so that's where I paused. I think, yeah, I wasn't sure where you were going with that.
Well, the goal is just the truth. So can men get pregnant?
Again, the reason I paused there is I'm not really sure what the goal of the
The
question
goal is just to establish a biological reality. You just said a moment ago that science and evidence should control, not politics. So let's just test that proposition. Can men get pregnant?
I take care of people with many identities, but
Can men get pregnant?
many women that can get pregnant. I do take care of people that don't identify as women. That
Can men get pregnant?
again, as I'm saying,
Let me just remind you, you testified to a moment ago. Science and evidence should control, not politics. So can men get pregnant? You're a doctor, I think.
Science and evidence should guide medicine.
Do science and evidence tell us that men can get pregnant? Biological men, can they get pregnant?
I also think yes, no questions like this are a political tool. And
No, yes, no questions are about the truth, doctor. Let's not make a mockery of this proceeding. This is about science and evidence. And I'm asking you, the United States Supreme Court just heard arguments yesterday at great length on this question. This is not a hypothetical question. This is not theoretical. It affects real people in their real lives. And you're here as an expert, called by the other side as an expert. And you've been telling us that you follow, right, you're a doctor, and you follow the science and the evidence. So I just want to know, based on the science, can men get pregnant? That's a yes or no question. It really is, I think.
I think you're trying to reduce the complexity of a lot.
I'm not. I'm trying to get, it's not complex. I'm trying to get to an answer, and I'm trying to test, frankly, your veracity as a medical professional and as a scientist. Can men get pregnant?
I think you're also conflating male
extraordinary.
female with.
No, I'm not conflating male and female. They're two different things. There's biological men and there's biological women. And I want to know, can men get pregnant?
Biological.
What you were talking about is biological.
You're not going to answer my question. it sounds like.
Biological males.
This isn't hard, doctor. Can men get pregnant? Yes or no?
I would be more than happy to have a conversation with you that is not coming from a place of trying to be polarized and push.
I'm not trying to be polarizing. I'm trying to ask, I think it is extraordinary that we are here in a hearing about science and about women. And for the record, it's women who get pregnant, not men.
It also,
We are here about the safety of women and science that shows that this abortion drug causes adverse health events in 11% of cases. That's 22 times greater than the FDA label, another fact you haven't acknowledged. And yet you won't even acknowledge the basic reality that biological men don't get pregnant. There's a difference between biological men and biological women. I don't know how we can take you seriously and your claims to be a person of science if you won't level with this on this basic issue. I thought we were past all of this, frankly. I can't believe we're still here talking about this.
I am a person of science, and I'm also someone here who's here to represent the complex experiences of my patients. And I don't think polarized language or questions serve that goal. I don't think they serve the American people.
It is not polarizing to say that there is a scientific difference between men and women. And I want this to be clear and for the record. It is not polarizing to say that women are a biological reality and should be treated and protected as such. That is not polarizing. That is truth. It is also, by the way, the United States Constitution, which offers unique protections to women in a variety of circumstances as women. And your refusal to recognize women as women and men as men is deeply corrosive to science, to public trust, and yes, to constitutional protections for women as women. And I think it's extraordinary that you would sit here and advance a political agenda that has been thoroughly discredited and rejected by the American people in this forum. And I'm glad we had this exchange because it is exceptionally clarifying. It is also in many ways quite depressing. I see that my time is nearly expired. I just want to thank the other witnesses for being here. Thank you for protecting women and children. Thank you for your valiant efforts. Thank you for following the science. And thank you, Mr. Chairman, for this hearing.
Senator, also.
Okay. So what do you think? And so what I'm curious to know.
That's the sound of an American oil company hard at work. Want to be a part.
All right. So okay. So can you see me? Can you hear?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, wonderful. All right. Okay. So so what happened to Ritam, Satya, and the Dharma? And that was the person who was actually defending the role of in the gender, the viewpoint that gender is socially constructed, was a doctor, an Indian doctor, a person of science. And the person questioning is a politician. He's not a scientist. And what do you think happened?
This wasn't a truth debate anyway, at any rate. At all. So the forum was flawed. I think this is a kind of a very interesting issue because it sits within this whole Abrahamic ideology and their whole framework, social framework, which is a very intolerant framework. Stuff that we've kind of solved for.
Okay, so you sort of characterize the whole debate. What I want to know is, when you're following the lines of what they were saying, what was the Ritam? Did the Anritam happen? Did it happen? The recognition of reality by both sides. And okay, let's say the senator or the congressman, did he recognize the rhythm of reality or the order of reality?
I say yes.
Okay. All right.
Unfortunately, he's not the Tadnya. So the Tadnya, the person who should have, did not. And the person who is not qualified did. So it's what it is then at that level.
Okay. Anyone else? I thought we have quite a few people. I thought You all will be engaging in a very fierce debate at this point. But you all came to the conclusion that, oh man, you did not agree with those definitions. But you see, those definitions have been seriously taken, and there are doctors, scientists in the society defending it. What is she defending? Yeah, Shripani.
I think she was not trying to directly answer the question that was being asked. That's one observation. And, you know, I think both of the sides, they had some prepared thoughts or ideas as to how the conversation should go. I think they were trying to do, both are trying to defend one thing, but then
It's not
doctor was
Both had agenda. I mean, there is
Yes,
no question about it. Both had agenda, right? Preset agendas.
he said.
The problem is on the surface of it, at the face value of it, it comes across, or at least the segment that we watch, right? What it comes across is the doctor is not even able to recognize the basic rhythm, right? And she's struggling to correlate that with Satya. And
Yeah.
it's like completely, it is like she's completely lost her foundation. She cannot stand on anything. That's what it comes across as. And that's what gets amplified, right?
Yes.
Yes, both have agenda, but at least you could agree on natural observation or natural rhythm, because that is objective, right? What we said earlier in the class is that is supposed to be objective reality. And by not even going there, not even recognizing objective reality, everything else you build upon it is false.
Yeah.
It's
See,
fake.
that is true. Pratyaksha is pratyaksha. You see it, and there are norms, there are regular patterns, there are exceptions. Okay, but she doesn't want to get into that subject at all. Nothing about pratyaksha because they have denied it. Biological reality is one thing. Social gender is another thing. All words and concepts are just simply consulting members of society. They just made up, right?
I don't think they denied it. She just didn't answer it. And the fact is, she probably knows the answer, which is the same answer, which is a simple answer, but she didn't deliberately choose to answer it.
Yes.
And she a bit evasive and she just stalled the whole thing. So you didn't get to any truth or any conclusion.
Yeah. But couldn't she have said something like, okay, you're talking about something metaphysical. I am talking about something psychological. We just need to work together and find whether these people should have compassion or not. It's an ethical question, not your question, Senator, about metaphysics, what is biological, what is non-biological, and all that. We just there should be accommodation or not. It should be an ethical, shouldn't we have compassion? If we have compassion, how do we accommodate it? So that is all, probably that was needed, but I don't know what you guys thought, but go ahead.
Yeah, what are the rules to debate with someone who is going to bias? What are the rules to play dice with somebody who comes in loaded dice? That's the answer here. Coming with loaded dice.
Yeah, there's no rules of debate set because it's a very binary system. You get into that room, there are congressmen, senators questioning you, and it's all binary. Yes or no, yes or no. You got to keep answering that. It's very it's like courtroom drama, right? And but another psychological thing, it was amplified on the internet. Almost everyone might have watched it, right? What does she represent? Which society? Which community?
Asian community, somebody who's a person of color, but
Dr. Nisha.
So she represents multitude of segments, right? She represents like a medical profession. She represents science. She represents Indian American.
Yeah.
And women, right? She represents so many different identities, and her being evasive and
Yeah,
being taken down by such a simple questioning, right? Repeated simple questioning, which she refuses to answer or cannot answer,
yeah.
creates a dent on the image on all of
Mhm.
those 4 or 5 identities that she carries, right?
Correct,
She's a
correct.
woman, she's a doctor, she's a scientist, she's
Yeah.
Indian American. All of them are incredible. That's what the
Uh,
takeaway would be.
very, very, very well reasoned argument. Very reasoned comment. Yes. Yes. Yes, Modi. Chandra, that's a fantastic line of argument or a fantastic line of commenting on it. And so what happened to Satya? Oh, was the congressman having the Satya with him or the woman? Or they both did not? When did the actual Satya happen?
He he had that, again, this comes back to set agenda, right? So
Yeah.
he narrated Satya at the end,
Mm.
kind of imposed on it, but yeah, but he was the only one speaking, right? The other person did not speak, therefore it whatever the Satya is, it never got
Yeah.
revealed.
We don't even know what she says. What we know is she's been shown like an idiot, right? And uh, that happened because of that evasion multiple times, and unfortunately, that's a person of science. Today, people of science. I mean, she is. Especially in that place. I don't think anyone was more qualified when it comes to biology. She's a doctor, a gynecologist. Okay. In addition to that, when she was defending a position that was indefensible, just because she picked up the wrong line of arguments. All right. And here you go. So he's following a very, very simple, commonsensical questioning line. But you see, either it may come from the Abrahamic or the Abrahamic or the non-Abrahamic viewpoint. But I think the Abrahamics would say man was the first person, Adam, and woman came from his rib, womb. So that's the viewpoint they have. And the man and women are different. uh, they ate the fruit because the speaking serpent, said something, and they just followed the speaking serpent, and sin was committed, and that sin of the father travels through generations unless you accept uh, Jesus as the savior. That's it, verbal acceptance. Once you accept it, all sins are washed away. So that's their tenet, their axiomatic realm. That they are not getting into all of that, but simple fact that men and women are different biologically. That's a rhythm. The statement is right, and but everything that followed. So once you recognize the rhythm, the confidence in him was very high because he knew that the other person did not recognize that, because they are following postmodernism, like we introduced those topics very early. But just to revisit that, in, the Western philosophy is undergoing devolution, not evolutionary path. That's the statement we made, right? Uh, you know, from classical philosophy of the Greeks, and when it comes to Renaissance, the medieval times, and now the postmodern times, has completely divorced social. They consider social construct. Reality is, there's really no such thing as reality in nature. Reality is what we create through words and actions, and the times are different, and if more people agree on something, that's a social construct. It doesn't have anything to do with reality outside of our minds. So objective reality has been collapsed into subjectivity, complete subjectivity, right? And at some point, but that's why you might have seen uh, a cop catches a person and then says that I have to put you behind bars, and the person is speeding, and the driver says, well, I can't be, because today I'm feeling like a cat. Look here, I have a litter box, and neither man nor woman, but I feel like a cat, so my inner experience is more important, right? So this is the kind of argument. So you do see all of that. It's not even a joke. These are real videos, and the real people. And let's see. And we are studying that. And teachers are being taught. Okay. And they want to produce more and more kids that are of Dr. Nisha type, even if they are very well educated. Right? That's the result of this thing. And let's see. So when it comes to Ruta, it just refers to reality as it exists, independent of belief, feeling, or ideology. Right? In case of sex, yes, humans are biologically. I mean, Rutam, how do we see that thing? What does Rutam say? We are biologically dimorphic species. So, two in gender, we are not born like 4, 5, 6 or different types of genders. Or no, born with like two sexes, male and female. Predominantly, there may be some exceptions. It is determined by reproductive anatomy, chromosomes, and all the extra what the science discovered is all part of the rhythm, right? Because rhythm is a bigger concept. So whatever you discover, a male is different from man is different from woman, and it's biologically different. So that is not challenged by science, but they discovered more and came to the conclusion that, oh, there is XY and XX chromosome that differentiates. And if you have XY, you're not becoming pregnant. XX, yes, you become pregnant, and all of that. At birth, sex is observed, not assigned. That's the first rhythm statement. Rhythm is all about discovery. We don't invent things there. Reality is about discovering it. It's already there. That pattern is already there. It is not assigned. So when people simply speak of, oh, sex is assigned at the time of birth, no, it's not assigned. It's discovered. It's observed. Rita level statement would be biological sex is a material fact of embodiment. Right? High words, but it's a fact of reality. That's what the rhythm says. And the important classification is it is not a moral judgment, neither good nor bad. It is how the reality is structured. Just like saying fire burns. If I say fire cools, it is anrutam. Gravity pulls. If I say gravity actually pushes you out into the space, that's anrutam. Bodies age. Bodies do not age. If I say that, it's anrutam. So it's none of those things, right? So rutam or anrutam. And there are exceptions, such as there may be some variations, men and women, maybe some intersex conditions do exist in reality. And they're considered developmental variations, not morally right, morally wrong. Or they don't need to be ostracized, excommunicated, and punished, and those kind of things, which other Abrahamic texts have advocated, right? Not a new reproductive category at all. That is sure. And exceptions do not define the underlying order of rhythm. Exceptions may exist, but they do not. Oh, there is rules to drive on the right side of the street, but the rules may change. Some people drive on the left side of the street in a different country at a different time, of course. But whatever the rules, they do not define that, if people come in opposite directions and at a certain speed, they collide, therefore they must be protected. Ritam and the Satyam are not changing. You should not harm people. That is not changing, but the rules may change. The exceptions may occur. Somebody may want to, they can't see, there's some kind of a dimensional blindness. They don't have the concept of right, so they go on the left. Yeah, such things may exist. They're all exceptions. So rhythm actually allows variation, but not redefinition of reality. So that is point number one. And so where are we getting this thing? Why is it so important for us? Anritam na bruya, asatyam na bruya. So the Upanishads have declared. And all these darshanas have accepted this. The point happens to be Ritam is our order of reality. Ritam cha satyam cha abhidhat tapaso adhyajayata. Ritam and Satya were born from the tapas. So tapas can be observation, an intense study, or an effort that is so focused to grasp reality. It can be objective or subjective, doesn't matter. That is tapas. So coming from Taittiriya Upanishad, reality has an objective moral cosmic order discovered through discipline. So that is our tapas. And that's why it is so well respected. The Upanishads make the statement, and nobody has any debate about whether Ritam exists or not. No darshana has a problem there, you see. They all accepted this. Satyam. Satyasya Satyam.
Ekakshanam Mahodaya. I think Sivakami ji has a question.
Sure. Oh, sorry. Yeah, please go ahead.
Hari Om Mahodaya. So, with the, I mean, the Upanishads, they do speak, of course, all this is fact. And there are all these, concepts and how it all makes a lot of sense. And when I was watching that YouTube video of the senator and the thing is, it does make her out to be like a loony, right? Because she's just refusing to answer. But in the experience of, like, I have friends and who don't identify, right? Who belong to those like groups.
Yes. Yeah, I have friends. Yeah.
Yeah, and it is a very real thing, right? Because like what the senator was saying, it sounded very simple. And there is so much politics and how they are marketing this whole thing to the to the majority of the people in the US who are not going to question and who are for lack of a I don't know, lack of a word or whatever, I'm just going to be blunt here, uneducated in that sense, right? Who just blindly believe whatever is being told, and if it's being told in a certain way, you will believe it. Like that. And there's so much bias, him being there's so much of gender bias there also, right? She's a female, he's a male, who are you going to trust more? All that is also there. She's colored, he's white, all that is also there.
That's
right?
all
So
true.
there's so many layerings
Yeah.
in there. So the thing is, when we are in such cases, when we say, oh, satyam bruyat, like, okay, only speak the truth, like what we know or know to be the truth according to the Upanishads, how relevant is it now in terms of how we will speak this? Because there are so many layers and the thing is, now it's the society or where we are living in is in a space where or a time where there is no chance for there's no leeway, right? For like, okay, this is your opinion and let's talk about this. Everybody says let's talk about it, but truly nobody's actually like truly discussing these things because everybody is rushing to conclusion and putting in a camp.
The question here we are trying to touch upon is gender is identified as a social construct. Do you agree or you don't agree? Oh, yeah, Rudrasen Mahodaya has a comment. Yeah, please go ahead, Mahodaya.
Yeah, I think, this is interesting. It struck me. I attended a radio show and they're talking about science and religion, right? And then I said, this is a non-existent issue in Sanatana Dharma. There is no atheism and God and science, because the rhythm, the architecture of reality encompasses science, So for
Yes.
300 years with Galileo and all that worthless struggle because of the asatya the entire Western civilization did of persecuting scientists, the stupidity, because the rhythm was never recognized. There was either you obey the Bible and the word of God or not. It's a yes or no question. It isn't a yes or no question. Your whole design is flawed, right? And I think like Shivakami madam is saying, the whole gender thing, even when we do this in our system, it doesn't mean, even when we acknowledge the gender, the implications of this go in a very different direction. So the whole 300 years wasted in Western civilization just simply doesn't exist in Sanatana Dharma. We don't have that struggle. It's just gone because the rhythm was right from the get-go. Same with the gender issue. This whole struggle that's going to happen with this LGBTQ thing for next 100 years with these idiots is going to be the rhythm is they're off base to begin with. I would say one more thing, and it came from my father. There's a lot of people who learn meditation from him, and they are from this thing. And he says, but here's the actual question. The question isn't whether it's male or female. The question is, who are you, right? But the answer is very clear with Sanatana Dharma. The whole thing collapses. The whole LGBT thing is irrelevant.
Adhyasa and those kind of things at a later stage. It's a very neat argument. We can bring that thing and then just you can show the entire devolutionary path, right? They're identifying with the body currently. I am male or I am female. It's all identification based on physical attributes. Here, what I saw was like Mahodaya was saying, Shivakami Mahodaya. Yeah, go ahead, Mahodaya, if you still have a comment. You want to make a point there, Shivakami?
No, I completely agree actually with Rudrasenji, with what he's saying, because it is right now the whole conversation or debate or whatever you want to call it has become so convoluted that many times I get very confused in places like that, like in such debates, right? That I don't usually I don't step in at all, because to me it's like what Rudrasenji's dad was said it really doesn't matter, because the root of who I am doesn't adhere to any of these things, right? It doesn't matter. But when it comes to the social, like for example, like my friends and my students, whoever has this kind of experience, they are actually that's their reality, because they have to live in a prejudiced world. They have to live and fight against all these like basic necessities, safety. They're like to be afraid of your life because of how you feel and how you experience yourself. That is a really, it's scary. So, and I'm seeing this like on a daily basis. So but then when we talk about the police, because authorities are not behaving like authorities, it's all power crazy, like what's happening in Minneapolis right now. It's just nuts, right? So we are not playing a fair game here. So in that sense, I think that doctor who was in talking to that senator was right in holding back and not giving a yes no, because every single question that is answered there, every single answer is always taken for, because all recorded, right? And it's available for public viewing. It's always taken and it is morphed to the narrative that whoever's writing it, and here everywhere is that whoever shouts loudest is shouting the truth, right? Whoever is banging the loudest drum that becomes the truth.
I mean, as a Sanatani, or from someone who's exposed to Indic ways of thought process, how would you answer that thing, Chandra Mahodaya?
Yeah, so to me, I understand what Shivakami ji is saying, but to me, from a practical and a tactical point of view, the answer could have been for that question, right? Hey, can men get pregnant? That was a very simplistic and a very reduced form of a questioning. I agree with that.
Yeah.
But the answer could have been in a very tactical fashion. Hey, biological men cannot get pregnant in the narrow sense that you are defining men, right? That's it. I mean, that's it. It is by so Shivagami, I understand, right? There are 15 other dimensions in which you cannot answer these questions with a simple yes or no. But this was the first step, right? By fumbling on the first and the basic question, everything else, whatever that doctor may have 15 things in her mind, she may have published 100 research papers.
Yeah.
It all is not to me because she's not able to
Correct.
tactfully answer a simple question
Yeah.
and get to the next step, right? Where she can go and talk. It's really like, in any presentation, if you lose the audience in your first slide, you are not going to successfully complete your presentation no matter what you do, right? So that's what, to me, is the failure on our part. No matter whatever else may be happening, but by being evasive, it was an invitation for other people to take over. Excuse me.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I mean, I see where you're coming from. It's just that with things that happen in such hearings, and this is what I've seen for several other issues like this, right? For several other like popular pop culture issues, was that these debates, and you're talking about an audience, they usually, whatever she says will be cut and soundbited.
Oh, that's different. The manipulation part, leave it alone. I just
Yeah,
the
I think that might have been why she refused to.
yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I do not know why she did
Let's
what
come back
she
to the
did.
topic. Was there rhythm? Did she recognize the rhythm? Did she recognize the Satyam? Did she was there any attempt for Dharma? Did she
No,
recognize?
I don't think so. No, she didn't. Right.
So she did
but
not recognize the rhythm.
however, I mean, I suppose it could have been said with different languaging, but how do we do that when the other side is going to cut you off and it's not a fair playing ground?
Could she have said, yes, let's move on? I'm talking about another topic here.
No, that doesn't happen. If you see the other debates, the way these guys do is they browbeat you. So this video is
Exactly.
cherry picked. They will just browbeat the hell out of you, and there's no purva paksha. You're not dealing with a
This is not
person.
sorry. Yeah, I think this is not a proper Vada setting, to be
No, it
honest.
is not it is never a Vada. It's a
Yeah,
pure-
and I think we all acknowledge that it is not an honest debate. It's not quote unquote a debate at all.
Yeah.
He's just in a questioning session.
can,
He wants to
see, we can recognize a Vada, Samvada, Vivada,
Vivada.
Upa, and Vitanda. Oh, okay, agreed. But
Yeah.
we have an opinion on all of them. All of them.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not going to say somebody is doing Vitanda or he's wrong.
Yeah.
No, we don't do that thing.
Yeah, we are not necessarily, for everyone in the class, we are not necessarily looking for an outcome. I think what
application of not an outcome, not a moral.
Our application
Is
of
it in
men,
alignment? What they said is it in
Rita, Satya, and Dharma is the critical part here. And if we were to parse this objectively, what are all the different things that we could have done or understood and attribute to both sides here. I think that's a general idea for showing this video, not to necessarily polarize or have people take one side or the other here.
Yeah. So if you see this thing, so the point here.
I have a quick follow-up question, Mahodaya. Why was the doctor not on the side of Rita? Because her definition of men was probably coming from the gender side of things, which
Gender
is
side of things. See,
so should she have, and I just want to get a clarity, so it's easier for the class here as well to parse it. Was she coming from a point of view of, okay, gender is a social construct,
that is
and she could have immediately uh, not disputed but highlighted the difference of what the senator means by men and what she means by men? Was that an option?
for her, the social construct is the rhythm. First thing is there's no rhythm.
Mm-hmm.
They only work on the concept of truth, and that truth either can be objective or subjective.
Mm-hmm.
Subjective truth is the name of the game.
Mm-hmm. So what you're suggesting, Mahodaya, is we need to rise above these and
Postmodernist
observe both sides.
So even in science, reality is not considered objective at this point when it comes to human societies. There's no objective reality has been discarded.
And because the senator mentioned biological men multiple times, he seems to come across as the more grounded and real person.
Seems to. That's the point. Actually, it's from a very different political viewpoint.
Of course. The setting itself was tilted in a certain way. So yeah, I understand that. Okay. Yeah, I think very good discussion, everyone. I think we need to have follow-ups of real world debates.
Yeah, and I'll just finish this thing and then see if we can open the floor for before we conclude at 8:30. So the Upanishads, yes, both I did see Rudrasenji as well as Shivakamaji raising hands. Yeah, we'll come to that thing. Okay, here. So the Upanishads have, in many places, they have said Satyasya Satyam. Right? It is very clear that it's not opinion. Right? And Brihadaranyaka Upanishad goes to great extents. The truth is grounded in being itself. It is ontological. It is not just psychological, ontological. Right? And the truth is ontological. It's existent. For example, Atma exists. It's ontological truth, not psychological. Right? And no opinion or convenience can change it.
Can you differentiate that, Mahodaya, for us? What is ontological versus psychological?
Ontology means what exists. It's a fancy term for the existence, or what are the kinds of categories and things exist in reality. There is earth, there is water, there is space, these kind of things. So these are existence. So there is Atma, or the self, that is ontological. Ontos meaning what exists, not what I think, what exists outside of my thought process too. Whether I think
more aligned towards the rhythm.
It is rhythm. Yes. So truth is grounded in being, not opinion or convenience. Satya, Satyameva Jayate, meaning truth is going to be victorious no matter you recognize. Let's say you said Anrutam, the water current is helpful, right? And the kid falls into it, and I said, okay, it's all safe, because I was telling the untruth, and it resulting in adharma, where the kid loses life. So what actually won? It is Satyameva Jayate, the truth, because I can't say Rutameva Jayate, because Rutam exists as it is. Satyam is all about recognition of Rutam. Only that will be victorious or not. Rutameva Jayate, nobody says that. Rutam is independent of Jaya or Apajaya, victory or defeat. It has no opinion whatsoever. Only, because Satyam results in Dharma, Asatyam results in Adharma, we say Satyameva Jayate. You will discover it. Recognition of the facts of reality will win. Truth is ultimately victorious over falsehood. So what did we say in Dharma? Satyam vada, dharmam chara. Speak. Now, once you recognize the Satyam that is corresponding to Ritam, not recognition alone is not enough. Vada, you have to express it. Right? And dharmam chara, conduct. Once you made the statement about reality, which is Satyam, then your conduct should exhibit it. And Taittiriya Upanishad said that dharma is living action aligned with truth. So the life itself, has to align with truth. That is when, the life itself is action. So life itself will become dharma. So that is in correspondence to Ritam and Satya. And order and restraint. We know, you might have seen tena tyaktena bunjitaha. So magraha,
Yes,
magraha satya. So do not steal. Do not steal away what belongs to him. So whatever you consume is simply an offering, and enjoy with restraint is the inner meaning. So what it says is desire and prosperity, kama and artha, must be governed by following the rhythm. That is when you'll have dharma. That is when you'll have moksha. So where the desire and the artha, they are anchored. So that's the viewpoint, and that is where all the philosophies rest upon. And we don't have conflicting viewpoints on rhythm or satya or the dharma, but you see, they're all complementing. They're not rival philosophies. We don't have those rival philosophies at all. That's very interesting when it comes to reality, truth, and dharma. Yeah, now you can take your floor and then make your points.
It's interesting, very kind of observation. What do you think, Sriniji or whoever can? That Satya, because they've chosen this whole architecture, right, which has levels. So they recognize that Satya is derived from it. So what can you say about, like, it feels like Satya is constructed or chosen.
It is,
from
what
something
happened in the see, they don't have philosophy, they have theology. There's no philosophy in the Abrahamic world.
Yeah, in the Western system. But I meant to ask here, in this case that you showed the 3 levels, I'd like to understand how, like the connection, like the rishis deliberately split it. They could have just made one thing, Ritam and Satyam, no one's going to have a problem. But they didn't. They knew for very good reason.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is,
and that changes. It's a very deep, I don't know, it's like extremely amazing. I mean,
so somebody had asked me, okay, is rhythm system science? So on those lines. Yes, it is. But it is a broader concept. It includes system science. So is rhythm scientific? Yes, it includes scientific discoveries.
2%,
right.
some way.
Is irrationality rhythm? The answer is no. Rhythm does not include irrationality, because denying reality is irrational, if I see it that way. So if you it belongs to unrhythm. Whether it is rhythm or unrhythm, they're independent of characterizations like that. Simply misunderstanding the rhythm is unrhythm.
It's like they are choosing to even accept their limitation. Like they say something vaster than Satyam. That's do you feel like, what do you think? Why did you think they architected it like this? Satyam is very deep. It's a truth. It's not like you said.
The recognition of the rhythm. I apply my mind, and so I do know that it's the mind that goes wrong. Rhythm doesn't care. Either I align with the rhythm or I don't. So the moment I align with the rhythm, recognition happens. So I go to the traffic, I recognize, there's one more here. Hold on. There's one more nicer slide that I can show. Okay, yeah, here's the one, right? Okay, do you guys see this thing? There is a Rishi who actually, so there is rhythm, and it's independent. It exists whether there is a Rishi or not. Okay, and the Rishi comes along, and he sees the truth, and then you see that there is some kind of a halo around which he is actually recognizing the entire architecture of the physical world, and he sees the connections, and also aligns the mind. So what it says is he is like he grasped the entire system, and now there is a deer walking by. The Rishi is out. He's doing the Vyavahara now, right? Maybe he's in a modern clothing, whatever, right? Nowadays, Rishis also can wear jeans, that's fine. And here you go. So there is a deer, and he's feeding water. Is it Dharma or Adharma? Simple question.
Is Dharma.
Okay. And if he does it every day, is it Dharma or Adharma?
I feel like the doctor now.
Oh yeah,
I'm kidding. But
it's amazing how our epics and people have discussed this thing. What they're trying to say is, the deer comes along. Maybe it's a tired deer, and you feed water. It's all contextual, right? Dharma is contextual. You give water, and it drinks water. It goes away. Dharma, beautiful. It aligned with Dharma, and everything depends on everything else. Now, if you do that every day, you make the deer depend on you, creating an imbalance in the rhythm. It is supposed to be independent. It can do whatever it wants to do, and it's aligning with nature completely. And when the deer is tired, maybe when it is when it is wounded, you should take care of it in order for the eco balance, right? And if you don't, if you grow too many deers, it can actually, because of that, all the deers come to you, and then they breed a lot, and there are many deers, and they become so dependent on you, and they wouldn't know how to survive without you. So by doing which, it is adharma. And when you have too many deers, they can eat off all the plants and things and whatever, right? Creating an imbalance in the system. It is adharma. So absolute, when you bring in this kind of ideas of absoluteness into the action of compassion, it is still adharma. A compassion which is not contextual will lead to adharma. Why? Because it will create an imbalance in the rhythm itself. And the whole point is, in the rhythm also recognizes the fact here that it moves towards entropy. Like the world is going to be moving toward pralaya anyway. You should not accelerate it. You should not accelerate the pralaya. People ask, well, is vegetarianism better than non-vegetarianism? I mean, these questions do not make sense. What they're trying to say is, well, consider the universe is a system of entropy, where everything will be destroyed anyways, and things will be, the nature goes towards chaos and destruction anyways, whether you want it or not. Vegetarianism does not accelerate it, but meat consumption, which is unbelievably excessive, it moves towards entropy faster. So therefore it is adharma. It's all in, they define it in terms of excess, not in terms of absoluteness at all. So that's the whole point. They don't have this ati sarvatra varjayet. That's the point. Overdoing anything. Man, I can't say meat is wrong for a tiger. So it's its nature. So those are the kind of things. We don't make ethical statements without rhythm. We follow the rhythm. We say the satyam, and then dharma becomes contextual, because satyam is also made contextually. All right. So yeah, I mean, I know that this will bring up more questions than answers, but it's all fine. Who is the technology which serves capitalism is massive adharma? Is satyam a drishtikon? No. It is not. It's not a drishtikon. It's a recognition of rhythm, and rhythm. If my mind corresponds to order of reality, I'm fine. It is not a drishtikon. It's a darshana is a drishtikon. Yeah.
Are darshanas supposed to be aligned with rhythm? Are they supposed to depict the Satya?
Supposed to. Yes. Satya. Yes. They have to be telling Satya. Yeah. Dharma. And so that's why many people simply focus on dharma. So, don't, you got to put that in action. In all of Sanatana Dharma, even the yoga, for me, you would see that thing, right? Asana pranayama is like, they discovered the connection. They discovered the whole existence in terms of panchakoshas, and then said, oh, okay, I can't control mind, but I can control my body and my breath, which is aligning, which in turn controls my mind, right? So these are discoveries based on the rhythm. Therefore, they're all dharmic. Therefore, they're all astika darshanas. And in fact, even Buddhism is derived from Sankhya. Even though from a very, very technical viewpoint, they considered it's a Nastika Darshana because of Veda Pramanyam or whatever, but it is a Sampradaya, very spiritual one. So Ritam Satya Dharma. And if we have this viewpoint, then we can actually classify these debates and determine whether we want to be in this debate or not. In fact, identify the faults of every person. We can have a viewpoint, we can express it, we can articulate it in positions which need such articulation. It looks like we need to have the viewpoint of Rita, Dharma, and Satya, so that order of reality is not ignored. Because what I think is pure ego. I mean, what me and my creed, it's collective ego. My group is better than your group at the end of the day. That is the whole debate. All she was probably meaning to ask was compassion and ethical accommodation. But that did not happen in the debate. It's all political now.
Mahodaya?
Yes.
It's 8:30. I think people are starting to peel away. What I'll do is I'll stop the recording, and there are folks that are interested can still continue here.
Sure. So Ritam and in the Shastras, the Ritam also talks about seasonal changes, Ritam. Movements of the planets, Ritam. And day and night rhythms. So it's there is a pattern to all of this physical reality. So the structure of physical reality, and even when it comes to the inner life, that is Bhava Satyam. And when it comes to Bhava Satyam, they recognize the sthayi bhavas, and then they read, there is something called as rasa, which actually, when you detach from that bhava, then you experience the rasa. So that egoic detachment, everything, how the inner world works, it's all examples of Rutam.
एकक्षणं महोदय. Just one second. ॐ सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः, सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु, मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्. ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. हरिः ॐ. श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः. हरिः ॐ.